Welcome back, everybody. Today we have a great show prepared for you. Todd, how you doing?
I'm feeling good, man. I can't wait to get this thing cracking right here. This is that new Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. I can't wait.
Man, Gin and Juice, the song?
Gin and Juice.
Hey.
Mr. Paul, how you doing?
Hey, man. Lakers, baby.
Hey,
We good, though.
Lakers, baby.
Yes.
Well, folks, we got a special guest. We got Flash Media Studios in the house. Alvin.
Everybody
In the building.
Right on, right on.
Alvin ready?
Alvin ready.
That's what's up.
So we got a show put together for you. We're gonna go over 3 different topics, some real controversial hot topics. We got some questions we're all gonna take turns answering, and hopefully you guys are eavesdropping. Hope you guys enjoy it and get entertained. We're gonna start this off with Mr. Todd Wright.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. We got to start this off right there. Right?
Oh,
Hey,
shit.
All
I need to
right.
get laid back.
So
Whoa.
you all get ready. We're gonna do round robins on this. So we're gonna be talking about relationships and human behavior.
Yeah, give me the lay down. You know what I'm saying?
Is monogamy natural, or is it just a social contract created to control people?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
So many different civilizations, Right. and it goes back, way in time to where I don't really know. I mean, all I know is I came from a home of a mother and a father, and that's how I was raised.
You want me to ask it again?
Yeah, ask it one more time.
It's too crazy. Man. You get these crazy ass
Yeah.
I mean, because he's doing a real tap dance over
Yeah,
there.
I'm like, man.
He's doing a real tap dance.
So, is monogamy natural, or is it just a social contract created to control people?
Well, it's natural. I mean, because if you've grown up in a household that you naturally see your mother and father, and monogamy is being together, right? Like,
Well, it's one. It's one. It's being married to one, or versus what Jose said. He's into polygamy, which is multiple.
yeah. So yeah, the one-on-one is what I've grown up to see. So that's what I'm used to, right? So like, I couldn't imagine my dad bringing home 2 chicks and my mom, right? That's like, okay, like that's my mom, and you brought another chick home. It just wouldn't be right. So yeah, I'm with the one-on-one.
All right. Well, okay. Like you said, other civilizations.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like other civilizations, we look at it now, we're thinking to ourselves like, damn, he had 8 chicks, he had 8 wives, you don't admire that because that's a lot of work. Having one is a lot of work. So just imagine 8.
I wonder what the Kama Sutra says.
Dude, what's Karma Sutra? What's that mean?
Boy, it's pounded that thing.
What is going on? What is
Scissor
going on?
Ric Flair.
Is that
Oh my
Well, Paul,
goodness.
All right, you ready?
Oh, my goodness,
Paul
man.
bought some time to go ahead and maybe get an answer going. What you think,
Shout
Paul?
out to the Gin and Juice. It's fire.
I like this.
Snoop and Dre. Yeah, we're trying to be a part of the billionaire club.
Yeah, passion fruit.
I think it's a social
Contract.
contract, in my opinion. I mean, I get it. Like, if you find that one, of course you want to buckle up and, hey, I want to be with you forever, have kids, the whole nines. But I mean, for those of people out there such as myself that aren't married, and I'm, the age that I'm in, I'm playing the field until I find that one. So monogamy for me is no bueno. I'm not.
It's not natural.
Not natural for me. No. I can look at my parents. It might have been natural for them, but I would see them argue every damn day. I'm like, damn, like, shit, is this what it's about? Like, I didn't know, like, I didn't look up to that. Like, I was like, nah, I don't want that. As a kid, not knocking their marriage. Maybe that's just how it was. But I was like, yo, like, nah, I don't want that. I'm gonna just do me. So,
Would you go as far as saying you're a polygamist?
Wow. Wow.
would I go as far as to say I'm a polygamist? I would say to a certain degree I am. Yeah.
All right.
I've had many girlfriends. I've dated, many girls at once. And
At the same damn
no,
time.
so here's
At
the thing. If
same
I'm dating a
damn
girl, I'll
time.
tell them, like, look, like, I date other women.
Yeah.
Like, you're not the only one. From time to time, I might take a girl out, or I might have been talking to a girl. And some of these girls are cool with it. Some girls are like, no, I want to be in a relationship. Well, I'm like, nah, I'm not ready to be in a relationship. I don't want to do that just yet.
Does it add flair to your relationships? Like, Do they say, okay, cool, we'll go date her?
Some of them are cool with it. Some of the girls that are, I guess, bi, they don't care.
You got Jose stories?
Nah, I don't got Jose stories.
yeah.
Shout out to Jose. I don't got Jose stories, bro.
Jose G.
Now,
Zelaya.
if I could salsa dance, I probably would have some Jose stories, bro. Because
You already know. What did he say?
Jose.
Two fingers.
Jose.
Oh my God. Jose said these two fingers mean the world. Two fingers.
Yeah, he did.
Oh my goodness.
There's gonna be a lot of editing to this one.
Oh my goodness.
Man, let's go ahead and switch gears real quick.
no, we-
Flash Media
Flash
Studios.
Studios. Wait, what's
would you mind asking?
he has to tell us his podcast.
Oh, yeah,
too.
yeah.
You know he has a podcast.
Shout out Flash Media Studios. For those that don't know, we are the one, the only done for you solution for professional media. We are a turnkey professional media production solution for professionals. And we make it as easy as it's ever been before for you guys to curate and generate professional grade media. So the cell phone is good up until a certain point. So we usually don't see big brands, big corporate sponsoring cell phone content. So when you're ready to level up, we're here for you.
Flash Media.
The Blueprint
Flash Media.
Podcast. That's where we're at right now.
Well, we don't want to let you off the hook, my brother. We want you to participate. So is monogamy natural or a social contract in your opinion?
You want to know what's interesting is that I just learned that I guess it's natural depending on what someone was brought up with.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, what Todd just shared right now is he only witnessed monogamy.
Yeah.
Right? So in his case, it would be natural. But if we're looking at the grand scheme of things, then I don't believe it's now. Okay, now would you say that people who are leaning towards the polygamy side, would you say that they're happier?
It's a great
You know what? That's actually, it's funny that you say that. That's actually the debate. Probably the dude is happy, right?
Yeah.
But the women are probably dealing with jealousies, and then envies, because there's probably the favorite, and then there's.
However, what if they're playing the role? Because I don't think that Draymond Green is jealous of Steph and Steph is jealous of Draymond Green. Like they're playing their own roles. No, I bring that up because when people are in a kind of a polygamy type of relationship, I think that they're playing their roles.
Damn, you said playing their roles.
Well, not in a bad way.
No, it makes sense. No,
yeah, I
It's
mean,
gonna
like,
get bad sometimes.
if you want to take it that way, you can take it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's up to you,
It's up to
to
you.
be shallow.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. It's
do
up
the-
to you.
You can do the Jay-Z effect. You can do the Jay-Z effects with, like Beyonce. He cheated on her. You know what I'm saying? He was that role until he found someone to play with and come back to it. So I mean,
Or
Yeah.
or you could be like T-Pain's wife, right? Where she said, all right, you made it. You're famous. I get it. If you're going to play with something, just go ahead and bring her home.
or I got you. Or you could do the Whack 100 and what's Adam 22. They swapped
Oh, yeah. Something like that.
and they're married. Both of them.
Why don't they just go get some robots? They got that new AI shit. They don't even talk back.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, we're getting there. But then, wait, hold on. But then what you're talking about with Adam 22 is
They're
like,
both married?
but that's like a swinger relationship at that point, right?
Would
They
it
got
be?
that shit.
But would it be different from? Polygamy?
Well, I think the polygamy, I think that title means wife. Like, in other words, those women are coming home and they're in the home of that
Got it.
individual.
Got it.
They're not going around, swinging.
So
My my answer is I'm going to throw a twist on it. I'm going to say that it's not natural and it's a social contract, but I'm going to use religion to prove it. So they say that the 10 Commandments are not, they're more for bringing order into a society. Like, because when the 10 Commandments came out, it came out when to the Israeli tribes, that were among other nations and other languages and other ethnicities that were probably practicing these things, because the 10 Commandments were put in place to don't do this, don't do what the others are doing, don't do what the other nations are doing, don't do what the other, right? Watch. So then he says, so then if you think about it, one of them is don't lie, right? Or don't commit murder, don't covet, don't do adultery. And so if you start thinking about all these things, um, a society where at least you're not telling people not to do those things can be pretty wild. So I would think that to bring in structure, what we would call a social contract, is forcing humanity to do things that are probably unnatural. Is modern feminism helping relationships or creating unnecessary division between the men and women?
I don't even know what that is, bro.
So the feminist movement is that women are empowered to do exactly and be equal to everything that a man is, you know. So work, you know, earn, you know, that's, you know, everything that a man can do, a woman can do. Not to say that she can't, but they promote it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and
it's called the feminist movement.
Ladies, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's cap.
He gonna
cap.
he gonna get us canceled.
I'm gonna say that.
He gonna get us.
I'm gonna go and say that's cap, ladies.
Okay, so
here's the thing.
So
it's definitely a weird conversation when there's a room full of men.
So is feminism helping relationships or creating unnecessary division between men and women?
I think it could create division, because ain't no woman supposed to be a tomboy or acting like a man. I need you in your femininity. I need you to be the woman, the balance when I come to the house, make me a nice meal, run my shower, all that. Damn. I don't need you to have. I don't need you to have.
Where is he going? Thailand?
We are in America.
One-way ticket. We ain't coming back.
I might not buy a village.
He say, I want my tea, hot, moringa.
Jasmine in the tub.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You want to have that baton off? You want to hand that baton off?
I'm going to hand it off.
All right. Mr. Alvin, is modern feminism helping relationships or creating unnecessary division?
I believe it's creating unnecessary division, personally. I do. I believe that everyone needs to stand in their power, whatever their power is. And females have a lot of amazing powers, and they should exercise on those powers. And I believe that a lot of relationships would be much greater if women understood the power in their femininity.
Well, great answer. Pass the baton at that point.
Shit.
Yeah. Okay. So I agree. I agree with Mr. Alvin here. I think that modern feminism is not helping relationships, and it is creating division between men and women, because it's now so liberal, where you have women wanting to not even have a family anymore. You know, they don't even want to like fall into the role of saying, "Hey, I'm willing to be a mother, and you know, let's have a family together." It's like, no, you know, I want my career.
Yeah, they gave up.
I'll leave that at that. Your turn.
Well, that's a great question, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That type of it does hurt relationships. You know, it does hurt relationships for men and women. You know, the three of us here, I got a divorce because of something like that. You know, where my ex took liberal. Just it's hard for me to even explain this, man, but she basically chose her career over, you know, our relationship. You know, and and I chose to back up off of the my career so that I can take care of the household. And so that power went to that person's head, and it just, you know, you're not shit. You know, hey, you know, I work with these people and these guys make this much money. Why aren't you doing that? Put me in comparison, and it kind of like, you know, deflated our relationship. And at that point, I seen that modern day feminism, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
It really creates a different dynamic in a relationship. So for those that are out there, you need to pay close attention to whatever you're in at the current moment and make sure you don't fall into that loophole.
Mr. Alvin, we'll start this question with you. Do you think that most people get married for love or for lifestyle and security?
You want to know what? I think that there's probably equal share between that, personally, because there's a lot of people that are probably chasing the love per se. You know how people get into relationships, and then even if they're just talking, right? When people go from the talking stage to the actual formal relationship stage, because they may say, "Oh, this person's not doing X or Y because we're not formal in a relationship," so they're going to chase that. So they're going to get in the relationship expecting whatever that change is, right? And then, oh, now that we're in a formal relationship, they're not doing X, Y, and Z because we're not married, right? So I think that there's a huge chase that goes on for seeking something out of a person that person is not willing to give. Because if they're willing to give it, then they would have just gave it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. My answer might be similar to yours. I think that they want to. I think the during the relationship phase, if they're very loving towards one another, they want to. But then there's the other side of it. There's also the side of those that well, look, maybe it's not married, but what do we call gold diggers? Or what is the critique that a younger mate gives an older mate? Oh, I'm marrying for the security, and so forth. So I don't know, man. It's another controversial one.
It is, and repeat the question so I make sure I have it straight.
Do you think most people get married for love or for lifestyle and security?
It's a good question. I think for myself, understanding the dynamics of this now, and it just depends on the age of the person. So it depends on the age, because sometimes you have the younger generations right now that are seeking the validation of love, the affection. So they had a high school crush or someone they went to college with, but they love that person. So that love validation is still there. But when you become a certain age, now, you get 30, 40, you may have already been through a whole lot of hard relationships. Now you're transitioning from maybe your first relationships to your second, because if you look at the statistics, it shows that a lot of marriages end in divorce. And so when they end in divorce, they normally end in divorce. A lot of people don't go get remarried. You have to have a lot of balls and heart to go get remarried again these days, right? Because of just the circumstances. And so the person that's doing it the second time around, now they're looking at it a different light. I'm not seeking that love and attention and validation that I did it before. Now we need to get this together and make this union so that we can get this bread, because I just lost half, or you just lost half, and we need to bring this back together. For those who want to be married or want to be in those unions, that's what it takes, that footwork to get that together, to build two entities together, to put two families, two households together. That's a lot of work. Right? Agreed. So there's a lot of things that you can find love within that, but it takes a lot of patience. Takes a lot, man. So, I'm learning that as we speak right now.
As you guys can see, Todd's a relationship expert.
Yeah. Shit. You gotta calm my fucking ass down.
It's Dr. Phil.
You start talking some shit. Now I'm like, okay, this shit. There's something in this shit.
Activation.
There's something in this shit. This shit got me nervous.
Any questions you guys have, go ahead and send them.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Lighten up on a nigga.
You guys ready for my response?
Yes, Mr. Paul. Do you think most people get married for love or for lifestyle and security?
I think there's a lot of things that dictate that from the very beginning of how you were raised. And then I will say that in California, a lot of people come out to get divorced just because the environment plays a big role on your mindset. You want to get the bag, or do you want true love? So we haven't did the census on, is it for love? Is it for the financials? But I will say, if you go in Texas, people get married young. They have kids young. They really value marriage. But coming to California or Orange County or, anywhere with all the glitz and glamour, I'm probably going to say they're probably looking for the bag.
Superficial people out here.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was
plastic.
good.
The plastic folks are out here.
Yeah.
That was good insight there, bro. And you just used two different states to compare it, to prove it. And because I believe, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Environment plays a big key.
Yeah. I believe, to even tack on to that as well, that a lot of people over the time, they find out that the love sometimes just isn't enough if you can't survive.
Gotta have that hustle and that heart.
So, because I believe that there's divorces that occur and the people go, one of the parties go, I still love him or her, but this is not working
Because they're not growing.
because they're not growing, because they're struggling or something, right?
Financially, they're making it either.
Most people get divorced over financials, right?
Correct. Absolutely. And they may still have love for that person.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
Because
can I interject then? So that if that's the case, then shouldn't like one of them work harder to work as a team to, like, you would think that they would work, if finance was the issue, work at something together to get yourself out of it. But instead they work themselves out of it.
Well, let me throw in. I think that his point comes into play. I think if you're in Texas, that's happening. If you're in Cali, it ain't.
Yes.
Because
Because in
you
Texas,
could
they're
be
going to
stuck
stay
in a
together.
bubble.
Yeah.
Like, you could be stuck in a bubble in Cali, bro. Like, it's really tough to get a job that's going to pay you over 6 figures. And some people aren't going to put in the time to try to acquire themselves to get a 6-figure paying job, bro.
and 6 figures doesn't even cut it out here.
It doesn't. That's, for real.
6 figures, you still broke.
Yeah.
You still got
Yeah.
zero at the end
Yeah.
of the month. It's like,
Easily.
Yeah, facts.
Easily. So
Yeah, man. All right. I'll go with this one. Who really has it harder in modern dating, the men or the women?
Shit.
Jesus.
I think that
you know what I mean?
What's going on here, man? We drinking on the show, man.
For real, man. I think
who's going first on that one?
well, you know what's
I think it's Paul. Paul's the only one that's
yeah,
in
it
open
is.
market.
It's me.
Hey. Is the Lakers playing tonight?
Bro, we hitting 20? I got you on the upper. Come on, I got you on the more. On
So,
prize picks.
Who really has it harder in modern dating, men or women? I think I'm going to go with men. Because I think that
Can you say that again, sir? Because we didn't hear you. I didn't hear.
I
What did
think
you
it's
say?
men.
There we go. Yeah, man. Said you were
He's
confident.
like-
he's like, I think it's men.
Yeah, I think men have it harder.
Ass beating.
Here's the reason why I think that, because man, and see, but you threw a curveball, bro, that's gonna probably leak into other things here.
I had to, man.
I think that I think in California the dudes got it harder, but there's a reason, they got it harder, because the girls are chasing the glitz,
Yeah.
and then the glamour, and then
They can
Bar is
find.
raised
They
way
can
higher.
find.
out
Hey,
here.
you said they can find love in Texas.
then now I'm gonna take that on. Now I'm gonna take it on to see if that theory still stands.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now they're in Cali. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go with the guys have it harder, because the guys trying to live up to something that's really difficult to live up to because of being so close to Hollywood.
Yeah.
So in Texas, let's see if that's the same case. But do the men still have it harder? Well, you know what? I'm gonna stick with it. I think the men have it harder overall, simply because they're competing with social media, and they're competing with entertainment, and they're competing with Hollywood, not directly but indirectly, and it's psychological, I think, and it's poor dudes.
Well, who has it harder? I'm gonna say women, man.
Me too.
You know, I'm gonna say women is because, and I'm gonna be straight up with you, man. Women have it tough because dudes will use and abuse them, and so they have to understand that if the dude ain't in it to win it, you will be a jump off. Whether you're a divorcee,
Are you
whether
talking about like a trampoline?
yeah, exactly, yeah, jump off. That's it. And I'm trying to say this in a nice way, because
Joe Budden.
but literally, if the woman doesn't play her cards right, it could be really difficult for her to ever land a good man in her life, because
Very true.
they keep using their bodies and their tools for the wrong reasons. If you have a solid man in your corner that's dedicated to his craft, and if you're in California, like we said, right, you're making over 6 figures. It ain't easy to even land a job making 6 figures in California, let alone maintain one. But then men want to be supported. We want to be supportive. So we have to break our egos down to allow the woman to understand us, so that they could be vulnerable enough to trust in us. And, but women are thrown so many curveballs so many times. People look at you in a different way. We don't get compliments like women do.
Yeah.
Right? Women get compliments all day long. Hey, your booty look good. Hey, you know, if I had you, girl, you know. So they got to run through that all day. They got to block off, you know, people all day long, and then still be the most for us and pay attention to us and give us the affection we need. So women really have it tough, but I would just say, don't use your bodies in the wrong way. You know, save what you got, save those jewels. You know, you don't have to give it up on the first date. And it's just sad that, you know, people, after you get a divorce, they go nuts, man. They give it up. That box is open. You know
Box for everyone.
Exactly. You get some of that box. You get some of that box. You get some of that box off a couple coolers. But like you said, Ruben.
He said, hey. He straight up said, everybody check underneath their seats. You got a box. You got a box.
So like you say,
oh my God.
sometimes the ear, you know, what feels better, your ear or your finger? So that gives you a little concept of the men and women, right?
Oh my God.
So women, your ear shouldn't be itching.
Damn.
Oh my goodness.
Who's next?
Oh, you up.
Keep the fingers out your ears.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Who has it
guys
harder?
and girls? Girls, listen to this. It's you.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the thing. Yes, when they get divorced, they might become an info.
Oh,
But
super.
here's some other things you need to think about. When you're at a certain age and you don't have kids and you've never been married, we start to think you're mentally crazy. I'm gonna just keep it a Brussels sprout. Okay, a buck.
Pretty aggressive.
It is aggressive.
You can cancel that.
It is
This
aggressive.
is the first half of the show.
It is aggressive, but
Oh,
it's
is it?
only merely the truth.
Ooh.
Okay. Secondly,
Ooh.
if you're single, you've never been married, and you have kids, we consider that luggage. This is for women though. Guys could have kids. We could still pull and get married at any age. Now, for a woman, this is kind of like a cutoff. It's like, oh yeah, you're 43 with 3 kids.
And they a handful.
You might just be a pound town.
Ooh.
Because guys don't want to be daddies again. If we already got kids, they don't want to be daddies again. So I'm gonna say women have it a lot rougher and tougher. And I'm gonna just keep it at that. I'm gonna keep it light. That's it.
Eavesdrop is coming out with earmuffs.
Excuse me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you need them,
Yeah, we have.
they are linked in the description. We're selling everything, including your ass.
You got what you need.
You don't know what's going on these days. Damn, boy.
Damn.
Including
I don't
The
know.
your ass.
blueprint.
We here.
He said the blueprint.
We are
Goodness
here.
gracious.
It's the blueprint.
Mr. Alvin.
Absolutely. Yeah, you want to know what? I would say that there's a real fine line in the age range, right?
Mm.
Because you know, shout out to Wholesome Man. I heard him touch on this, right? And he said that, you know, a pretty young lady with nice body, nice physique, that's like that 21 to like 25 range, lives the life of like a millionaire guy, right? Because they get to go on yachts, they get to go to, you know what I mean, expensive dinners every single night. If they choose to, they can literally go out every single night and leave their bag at home and leave their wallet at home, right? And they can live the life of a guy that's worth like maybe $2 million, right? And they can go to the nice dinners. They can get bottles every single night. They can stay in the nicest hotels. They can go on the yachts. They can go on the private planes,
But
etc.
that comes with a cost, though.
If they play it right.
Oh, if somebody else is playing it right.
Yeah, I mean, are you calling them a certain name, Todd?
No, I'm just saying, like, if someone's putting out that bread, they want some
Yeah.
to be fed.
Yeah. Well,
Whip it good.
But,
Yeah.
but the wrong dude may not know how to do that. And that's how the girls keep taking advantage of it.
Oh, is that what it is?
absolutely. Or they use them up to a certain point, right? Because there are some guys that go, oh, they think in order for me to have that around, right, I need to do that a little bit at first, right? And then she does keep her box closed. And then he goes, you know, then he starts to shy off a little bit from her. right? So she's already lived the life maybe for like a month or two, right? You know, maybe she gave it up once or something and she just have them trailing.
Damn.
Or whatever, right? But now she's living this life. She has bags, right? She's gotten a couple bags or whatever. Like she's
knows his friends now. So if he don't work out, thank you. I'll talk to Oscar. He's the one really with the plane. You don't have this shit.
yeah.
You're just a backseat driver.
Seriously, man. So okay, so with that being said, right? With that being said, to reel it in, if she doesn't land something solid by like that 25, if she hits like 27 and she hasn't landed something, she's starting to go into tough waters.
So what do you
She
think?
might start going to that crazy.
Is that mental? Like she's not.
Yeah, that's funny you thought that
She's
too.
gonna start to
That's
go
what I
into
was
tough.
thinking.
So she has a short window to really live that up and actually land something.
Yeah, facts.
Wow.
Because if
Or
she doesn't,
exit,
huh?
Or exit.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise,
Damn,
otherwise,
I got married at 26, man. Damn.
she hits 28,
Yeah, so
and it's the weirdest thing. I don't know why though, but 26 is okay. 28 is like, oh, she's old now.
Oh yeah,
Like it's the weirdest
You don't
thing.
have no babies at 28, ladies.
Yeah, like it's like the weirdest thing. Now, a guy, right? So a guy, if he stays smart, he grinded through that, right? He didn't get caught up in her 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And then he breaks out at 30,
Yeah.
right? And he hits, I don't know, maybe he makes like 300 grand.
Mm.
You know what I mean? He's making 300 grand.
Yeah.
Out here, he can live okay.
So, question: what's a good age for a woman to have a baby by? What's the cutoff date? Cutoff age?
Oh, damn. Come on, man.
She needs a what cutoff?
Yeah, like at what
40.
age?
40. That's the cutoff.
40.
Wait, you think a woman could have a baby after by 40?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, nah, bro, it's a big risk.
Up to 40.
Bro, that's a huge risk, bro.
Yeah, no, bro, it's a huge
Huge,
risk, bro.
bro.
They need to be like
Younger.
28, 29,
Yeah.
landed.
I would say I agree. I would say I agree.
I say the prime is like probably like between 23 and probably
Yeah.
23 and 33.
So you're okay.
Yeah, but even 30 though,
True.
depending on their health,
Yeah,
True,
yeah.
true.
right?
We
I don't
also
know.
wanna
You
hear
guys
from
can
y'all.
correct
Yeah,
us.
we want to hear from y'all.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah,
think is
yeah.
a good age?
They don't know what the
Cutoff
fuck they
age.
They don't know what the fuck they talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, but I do know.
They gonna have babies later on.
I
too.
got dependents.
Hilarious.
Oh,
No, but I do know that women start to get nervous when they start to get around 30
Yeah.
or whatever, like because I know that a lot of doctors are pushing them to
Yeah.
have children prior to 30.
I've had a female tell me if I don't have a kid by 30, then I don't want to have any kids.
Yeah, because of like the health risk.
True. They said
And-
that.
well, I have 4
Things like
sons, and I think our last son was at like 38.
Really? Oh,
38, 39.
damn.
So, yeah, we did it. But I mean, he's
That's what's up.
Yeah.
He's smart.
Yeah,
No, I
that's
think
right.
it's just a point. You know, it's also I think maybe even culture. You know, some cultures, man, they have babies. You know,
Keep going.
Raised
I know
their 40s.
grandpops, granddaddy's got babies. Like, dude, how'd you? Grandpa's got a baby.
I would say that culture you're talking about is probably Mormon. I grew up playing basketball with the Mormon community.
no, I was thinking Mexican.
Oh, you gonna get us canceled? They gonna get us canceled talking about Mexicans and Mormons.
Well, the reason why I say Mormon,
Yeah,
is
you know what I
the
mean?
reason why I say
Double
Mormon
M.
is 'cause
Double
they
M,
normally have,
M&Ms.
like, they have big families, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, just
And they're
Mormons.
polygamists, right?
Yeah, but a lot
Wow,
of
all of them?
different, a lot of different coaches have a lot
Wow,
of
all of
kids.
them?
Just straight
All
up.
of them? So they just popping them out.
Yeah, wow.
Popping.
Wow, that's-
All right. Next question.
Let me slide in.
Big Todd,
I'm back. I'm back.
is emotional cheating worse than physical cheating?
Sheesh. God damn.
What would you consider emotional cheating?
Texting, right? You know,
Going
where
on-
you fall in
going on
love,
Instagram?
where you fall in love, but you didn't go do it. You ain't done it yet, but you
Oh.
fell in love.
Damn,
You know?
that's a good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Damn,
strong.
Todd, how you going to tackle this, my brother?
Oh, no, man. Hold on real quick, man.
You going to pass the baton?
No, I'm not gonna pass the baton. Let me see what it say here. Apricot. What was the question again? Apricot. Gin and
Is
juice?
emotional cheating worse than physical cheating?
Yeah.
Worse?
It is, man.
It's worse?
It's worse.
That's crazy. Okay.
He said it's crazy.
You know why? Because the emotional cheating lasts a long time.
Like passive aggressiveness.
Yeah, emotional cheating lasts a long time. That means you have mentally checked out of your relationship a long time ago. And so you've checked yourself out mentally, and spiritually you don't think that it's going to work. So you're like, you know what? You're off in the distance. You're there, but you're not there. And then, like I said, I'm not trying to be Mr. Downer. My shit gets serious when I fucking talk. Why is it that I fucking talk?
Hilarious.
Pass the baton, man.
Nah,
Pass that
Fucking
baton.
hilarious.
but seriously though, that's how it is though, man. Like, what is the emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating, because physical cheating, you find out, okay, cool, you know what? Okay, this is the reason why you end the shit. Okay, this is the reason why it happened, and you can sever your ways, right? But emotional cheating could have lasted years, and that person could have been mentally out of your relationship for years, but you have dedicated your life to that person and all your time to your kids, and they've already checked out, got a fucking husband at work and shit. Like, you see all these little reels, you see he got, hey honey, when they get home to you, they're like, they're all pissed off and shit. I say that shit because like, this shit is real, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you know, this shit is real for me, you know, so for everyone else it's different. But for me, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Pass
What you
baton.
got to fucking say now? What? Hey, this got me cussing.
Pause.
There you
Emotional
go.
cheating worse than physical cheating. Or I even had a third part. Or is cheating just cheating?
Yeah, what are you gonna say?
Well, cheating is just cheating. But I'm gonna say physical, and here's why. We live in California, Orange County, and LA County. STDs are a real thing. So if you're out smashing girls bareback and you're bringing it back home, you got to get tested for that. And when that girl finds out she got an STD, it's a problem.
That's vice versa too, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
vice
Yeah,
versa.
yeah.
Women too.
Yeah, yeah.
How
So
long
she's
does
out
DNA
smashing
stay
somebody
in there?
bareback. Huh?
Say it again.
How long does DNA stay in there?
Was it 10 years? Yeah.
So you mean if they had body after body after body after body?
Just straight
All over
body.
your
It's straight body after body after body.
Straight body.
DNA after DNA after DNA.
body bags?
Who's
Man,
daddy?
So yeah, physical for me. Yeah, I get that part with the mental, but physical, yeah, because you can be lying, but it's gonna show in the DNA.
Yeah. Because if they've been mentally cheating and they haven't done anything physically, is that because they still have like respect for you?
Because they didn't.
They ain't had that opportunity yet, is what I would think.
Or maybe they're like a clean cat covering up shit
Mm.
and can tell you anything.
Wearing skirts out there.
Right. Because once you're in a relationship, at some point in time, you're going to be vulnerable enough to believe that person. They're going to know how to talk to you and how to make you believe into whatever it is that they're saying. Oh, I'm going to go here and we're going to be doing that.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. Just, yeah, okay. Well, people say, yeah, okay, cool. And somebody else is digging guts out.
Baton. Mr. Alvin, which one's worse? Emotional cheating or physical cheating?
He's all scared.
Bring out the cat. We're digging.
Digging out.
No, I would think or
Are we gonna hear
say
this?
physical cheating is what I would say. I mean, if somebody has mentally checked out, right? And if they've, they're like already mentally onto like the next person and they haven't done anything physically, then hopefully at some point they're going to, before doing something physically, that they're going to be like, you want to know what? I'm done. I'm checked out, et cetera, for X, Y, and Z reasons. And hopefully they have that much respect and dignity to do so before doing something physical. Because something physical, somebody doing something physical for, somebody doing something physical in a relationship where the other person is really brought in could really put everybody at risk.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because, like, yeah, I mean, like, you're like, yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? It could be, it could be somebody doing something self-damaging or doing something to the whole family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So hopefully, if there's somebody out there that's checked out like that, hopefully you will, in the relationship prior to doing something physical, in that would be like the bare minimum amount of respect that you can have for the other human being. That's what I personally.
I like that. That was strong.
Eavesdropping.
That was really good. That was really good. I got two answers because I think it's different for the male and the female. I think that the male. Hold on, let me get my thoughts together here, because usually the dudes are physical, right, and the women are emotional. And so, what draws each other? So, would a girl, because she's emotional, be forgiving if she finds out that the dude was emotionally cheating? And will the dude, because he's not so emotional, he's more physical, be really he'll be unforgiving because he found out that she did something physical? So that's when I'm going to stick with that answer right there.
Well, for him, he's probably thinking in those answers right there. And I'm going to just be honest with you. If you ain't putting in the work, fellas, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't got the drive to stay alive, then she's probably going to be doing something different. So you got to.
Absolutely,
if you ain't got that.
That goes both ways, too.
Oh,
It does go both ways.
That goes both ways. So, ladies.
You got to be
like
right.
Jose said.
Yeah, so ladies, you know what I mean? You better be on point with your lady duties.
The pH got to be right.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? 9.5.
Exactly.
You know?
Hey.
Yeah, you know
Can
what
I
I mean?
get a hallelujah?
Yeah, you
dudes too, right?
3.5 alkalinity, you know what I'm saying?
And dudes too. So dudes,
All right. Traditional gender roles, are they outdated? Or do they even still make sense in some cases?
They still make sense. I mean, even if a woman, wait, to what degree though? Are we talking about financials, or are we talking about relationship?
Well,
or all of the above?
All the above. Traditional gender roles outdated, or do they still make sense in some cases?
They still make sense in all cases for me. No matter if
I like that.
No matter if the girl is making more money than me, she's still going to be that woman that's caring and loving. I'm still the man of the house. I'm still going to walk on the left side. If we're at the store, we're going somewhere, you're going to walk on the inside.
really? You do that?
Yeah, I'm still going to open the door for you if I love you.
Damn.
Man,
you just set himself up. You didn't open the door for me.
Well, I mean, I do open the door. I mean,
He said, because I'm dating. And when I was dating the other girl, she never asked me that shit.
No, but I think those rules still apply, though.
All right.
I'm passing the baton, though.
I like
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, you made it quick.
I'm out. Mr. Al. Mr. Al.
So you're not letting her walk on the side of the street where the cars is?
Hell no.
Nah? No. You ain't going to just let her walk
She's
over
on
there?
the inside.
You ain't pimping her out. This ain't hope.
You be knowing.
Mr. Al, you're up. They outdated, or they still make sense?
I believe that they make sense. I feel like maybe society is trying to cease away with them, per se. And I think that they're important. It's how a household is sustained.
Yeah, I agree. That's good.
So no one's gonna look over at their girl and be like, the grass is all grown out, the hedges aren't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would be super weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're like, hey babe, hey babe,
Go take the trash out.
yeah. Are you thinking about cutting the grass anytime soon? The weeds is all out on the sidewalk.
Your girl's forearms are bigger than yours because she pushing that big ass lawnmower. Look like Popeye.
Yeah, no, but that would be super weird though.
Yeah, it would be weird.
In general, it would be.
Yep.
Man. My wife cuts the grass.
Yeah.
She cut it every Sunday.
You want that?
No, man. No, she does. She loves to do the yard. She loves to do the yard.
Her garden is amazing.
She's a green thumb, so she plants things.
Yeah, she's in the
prunes
garden.
things.
Okay, that's a little different though.
And that don't really count.
And I know what you mean though.
He said,
Yeah.
That don't really. That don't really count though.
hey, cut that shit off, man. The game is coming on. He's like, Rube,
Oh man.
Turn the choke down.
He closing the window. He closing the window in the house.
You know what I mean?
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
So, you know,
Yeah. All right. Traditional gender roles outdated? No, I don't think they're outdated, and I think they do make sense in a lot of cases. And I love what you said that that it seems like society is actively trying to do away with those things. But my last comment will just simply be on we had a previous guest, Sean, Hard Money Sean. He said that he had a friend of his that had given him some advice, and he said because when he found out that he was gonna have a daughter, I'm gonna be having a daughter soon. He's like, hey man, tell you what, bro, read to her. Make sure you read to her every night. Open the door for her. Pull out her chair. Because that way she'll know to look for that in a dude when
good
she
examples.
gets older.
Yeah.
I said, man, you know what? That was good.
yeah.
And so that
that.
speaks right into traditional values, man, or traditional
I like that.
rules.
I like that. I'm gonna start. I'm actually gonna start implementing that. My daughter is one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start implementing that. I like that.
And
Shout out to Hard Money Sean.
Shout out to Hard Money. Yeah. And talk to her about money too.
Like I like what you said. Society would think that it should be outdated because they want that equal structure.
Yeah.
Now, in certain homes that are formed in that fashion where they are together, have those, particular roles and responsibilities, but in a traditional home, in a traditional household, the man should be taking the lead in, the duties of the house, getting things fixed. Now, there are women, like you say, that have that controlled, feeling that they may have came from a single household. And when you get with them, or they've had to be independent for a long time, so they may feel like, hey, I got this. I don't need you.
Yeah.
Even though you might be offering your services, they'd be like, I don't need
how
you.
they sound, by the way.
That's real talk.
Like, I don't need you.
That's exactly how they sound.
I got this. And then, next thing you know, and then next thing you know, they out there. Shit ain't starting.
I need help.
And I'm looking at the blinds like this. Hold your ass. Oh, you don't need me now. Huh? Okay. You get the jumper cable. You get the jumper cable. Because then it's a whole different mindset. If the female has to do all the hard work, it's tough. So, men should be taking the initiative to do some of the harder things, taking out the trash, cutting the grass, and everything that needs to be done in that form of fashion.
Yeah.
If they're in the same household. And if they're not in the same household, he needs to help contribute to it.
Yeah, I feel that.
There's some tenderized dudes out there. I'm not swear to God. There's some tenderized dudes.
Straight.
Zesty. Exactly. There's some tenderized dudes out there that got harder women.
Man, they've been marinating in the
yeah. Just get tenderized.
Wallopy.
Right? But then they got strong-minded females and tender dudes. I see that all the time. I see a female out there punking the dude.
Oh yeah, that's all bad.
And it's like, wait a minute here, man. Who's getting pegged around here? What's going on here?
Yeah, he said,
yo,
pegged around here.
Questionable.
That's rough.
All right. So
You started it.
Oh my
next
God.
category. Was the moon landing faked, or was it just to win the space race?
Tough.
I believe it was just a race.
To project military power or superpower of the country?
Just to stake power, period, right? Like, we've always done it as mankind. Is there a rover up there right now? How do we know?
Well, it had regular tires. I was like, how did it not pop? Yeah, regular rubber tires. Like, okay.
It has a regular valve stem on it.
Yeah, still. Since you're going in circles.
How long has it been up there? You know what I mean? The air still hasn't deflated.
How'd they get back?
So how do we know roughly 5% of our seas that is here on the planet?
We ain't even tapped into that yet.
But we know things about something.
Like Elon says, we're going to Mars.
Yeah, so that's my question. If you know, please let us know.
Facts.
How do we know about something that's a whole nother planet away.
Mm.
We haven't even figured out what's here.
In the sea. Yeah.
But yes,
I'm gonna go with your answer as well. The moon landing was faked to win the space race. There might be some truth to rockets and maybe the attempt to get into space, but I think that the United States is guilty, as much as other countries are guilty, of projecting military strength by faking certain things to make sure, like, if we get there, if we portray that we got there faster than anybody else, that shows our might, that shows our technical skills, that shows this. And here's probably why I used to be on the fence about whether or not the moon landing was real or not, but I'm really no longer on the fence anymore. And it's basically because I haven't heard the best answer yet why we haven't been back. I have not heard a good answer. The answer is either I've heard that we don't need to go back. I heard we can't go back anymore. It's almost similar to those who built the pyramids. Like, in other words, the pyramids are built to such an extent with precision and with the weight of these rocks, and then getting these rocks out into the desert to where they were, that, like, what kind of technology did they use? But nobody can reverse engineer that today.
So let me say this. Think about that. There's nothing on that planet that looks like our pyramids. So just think that we have the technology to get to places, but I don't think we've gotten there, And that was just a deploy to, like you said, win position for our militaries, but I don't think we've been to the moon.
And, to even open up the moon convo a little bit, is it plasma? They say the dark side of the moon, we only ever see one side. If we think flat Earth, supposedly it's within the dome and it's spinning, instead of it like orbiting around, it's going around like that.
There's a flat Earth.
Yeah, there's a.
Is that what you just said? Did you hear what he just said? He believes it's a flat Earth.
No, I didn't say that.
Let's go deeper.
Shout out to Shaquille.
Hey, let's go deeper into this.
Hey, shout out to Shaquille, because Shaquille and Irving said that the Earth is flat.
Yeah, they got big dollars. They can.
I said if the Earth is flat.
Oh, I thought he said.
Yeah, he never.
Shaquille said it's flat.
He was going deep.
Irving said it's flat.
Have you ever seen it being round?
Nobody's ever seen it being round.
Oh,
I don't think you seen it being round.
From a orbital standpoint, but every camera
I ain't never
has
seen
a circle.
Yeah, an fish lens.
Right.
If you want to have a fish lens,
yeah, you could definitely do that.
Our eyes are circular. Yeah.
Okay. Pause.
Trump, when you release those files about Kennedy and all those assassinations, please put this video up of if we've ever been to the moon. Because if I do my research, there's a director that says he staged the moon landing. Aldridge or whatever, one of the astronauts went on O'Connor or whatever, what's his name? Brian O'Connor?
Yeah, Brian O'Connor.
And said that he never landed on the moon. So you figure that out, people. I don't know.
I'll drink to that.
And then on top of that, we've never seen a real picture of our planet. Ever. We got all these cameras. We've never seen a real actual picture of our planet. And in fact, I think it was Universal Studios that said that our world is a globe. Because when you go to Universal Studios, you see a big picture of our so-called planet before you go into the theme park. So things are questionable. I don't have the answers, nor do I have the resources. I'm just on a podcast called Eavesdrop Podcast.
Shout out to Eavesdrop Podcast.
And Flash Media Studios.
And the Flash Media Studios has provided us to be here in this
Hope y'all at ease.
nice location.
Yeah.
All right, next question. I'll start that with our major unsolved cases like JFK, 9/11 intentionally kept unsolved to protect powerful people. Yes, absolutely. And I think I'm going to just give one short answer with classification. So on average, things that are classified for 75 years. I think it's the most stupidest thing talk about incriminating yourself. The minute you want to classify something for 75 years, you just incriminated yourself. You're waiting for an entire generation to die off so that nobody can be held accountable for whatever they were classified. So yes, I think it is definitely to protect powerful people.
Man, to the windows.
Are
man.
major
You try to get
unsolved cases like JFK, 9/11 intentionally kept unsolved to protect powerful people?
They've been solved, but they just are not releasing information. I think a lot of these cases have been solved, but they are protecting people's image, like you say. But they've been solved, just like they caught OJ, right? You didn't even agree with OJ though. You thought he was innocent though, right?
AJ did that.
Oh, AJ.
Nah, OJ did that.
He said so.
We don't know him personally, so we don't know what he really did.
But
Who's being protected for 9/11 being unsolved?
That's huge. That's tough.
So there was a gentleman that had breakfast every morning in the towers every single morning. I forget who he is. I don't know his name. I'm pretty sure that you guys know.
What towers?
Talking about from 9/11.
Oh, wow.
And that morning, he happened to not have breakfast there.
Was he Jewish?
Powerful person.
Absolutely. So, is it just a coincidence?
No.
Maybe?
No.
I don't think anything happened.
You didn't feel sick that day? You just said?
Yeah. Maybe he didn't feel like French toast.
Oof. Damn.
Been baking that day.
Oof. All right, man. Let's get off this topic.
What about them Lakers, man? What about them Lakers?
Who's up? Do you believe time travel has already happened? And who controls it, if so?
You know what? Time travel does exist because we have a powerful magnetic force field in this earth, in the planet, the core of this planet. I think that there's enough energy and synergy generated. There's enough materials within the earth that we keep mining for to power things that we currently have now. So whether that's powering your cell phone to be able to talk to someone in China like that, right? Or to send a message from here to New Zealand, or to power XRP and your crypto now these days to travel without using Western Union or going into a bank waiting for the cash. So if there's technologies that allow those transactions to happen, you can transaction a person from here to New York probably in about an hour. Time traveling somehow, some way. It may not be instant, but you can get them there faster than they think.
I like how you deconstructed that.
Very, very interesting.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, there's a thing called CERN, and we're breaking down atoms. So if there's CERN and there's technology that allows us to time travel, I believe. You also got Jeff Bezos making spacecrafts to travel from the moon to Mars. I don't know if you guys heard about that project, but it's called something Horizon, if I'm not mistaken. So I believe that the technology's been there. We're here. And
I'm not knowledgeable in that space at all.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know much of
hot potato.
Yeah. I don't know much
Before you
about
pass
it.
a hot potato, can I say this, man? I seen a video where the military, you guys can fact check me as well too. We have bullets that are $1 to $2 million per missile. Like that's what it costs to shoot one missile in the sky, and they shoot them like,
Yeah.
you know, just going off trying to shoot whatever things down. These are things that they think that are beyond, like, you know, Space Force type stuff. You know,
Yes.
You know, they're trying to shoot shit out the air. This $1 million a bullet. So if those bullets can travel to save our life that fast, I'm sorry. I think there is time travel somehow, some way. They know that there's a technology that we can get from here to New Zealand.
Now, I will jump in there and I would say that we're like the smallest speck of dust in the universe, if there's a real universe. If that's really the case. So there's way more, like far, far, far beyond tech than we've ever experienced here, like as far as for human life.
facts.
Right. So if that's the case, and like some of the events like what you're talking about, and a lot of the videos sometimes now are getting kind of challenging, right? Because AI has come so far and it's so great at generating video and images and all these things. But at the same time, I strongly believe that everything that gets exposed to us through media, whether it's like movies, things of that nature, is to warm people up for something that's really out there.
Preparing us.
Yeah, preparing.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so I think it's a preparation
I agree.
period. So with that being said, like as far as for time travel, to answer that question directly, I don't know. But as far as for what type of technologies are actually out there that we haven't even tapped into and that the government probably knows, some of these things. I mean, because at the end of the day, if we are subject to gravity the way that we are, and if they can, and we see what it takes for like a space shuttle rocket or whatever, we see what it takes for it to leave here and to get into orbit or to get high enough from land. So we see what that, what type of efforts and what type of energy that takes. If there's something that can come into our space and then out the way that some of these images and some of this video is, like that technology is like light years.
And it's available and it's there.
Away from what we've been, open to per se.
Let me add on. Let me add to that, bro. We experience time travel every day, bro. We got an iPhone. We can FaceTime with the camera and talk to someone real time. So whoever built this phone and put this together and were able to FaceTime, like you said, in China or New York or wherever, how is that possible? How do we have that technology? Can someone break that down and explain that to me? Because I don't get it.
True, yeah.
I don't understand it. And this is just a device on a phone that has cameras on front and back.
Yeah, and you could do that with someone that's in a different country,
bro. That's time travel.
Which they are like a day ahead of you.
Yeah,
in a whole different time zone or whatever. So however that works, which is very interesting. But yeah,
you guys definitely chime in on the chat. I think I'll hit it from a different perspective. I'll hit it dead on to what is really difficult to wrap our head around. So you got to bring in quantum physics. You got to bring in parallel universes. You got to put in Tesla has the actual the patent for a time travel machine. So and then you got people that jump on TikTok and say that they time traveled, that they're from 2020.
Oh yeah.
2300, and they're telling us what happened, what's going to happen to the world, and then you even got people as back as in the 70s, talking about time traveling. And then you got people that you got the mysterious television recordings where they show that people in the 60s and in the 50s having devices, that they shouldn't be having, because those devices didn't exist. So they label them people time travelers. And then I'm gonna throw this one out, and then I'll leave this alone right after that. For those of you that are very curious, look up Looking Glass.
All right, man. Here we go with this shit.
Mic drop.
Here we go, man.
Looking Glass.
Man, Ruben always does this shit to me.
Looking Glass.
This shit was like
make your mind go crazy.
Man, it was like pre-COVID. He was telling me all this shit, man. Like,
hey.
Man, I get
What
back
was it
home.
called? Looking Glass?
I tell my grandma, like, man, Ruben, man, he be saying some shit. And then fucking COVID happens.
Then we locked in the office.
Bro, like this motherfucker wrote the playbook and shit. I'm like, man, Ruben said that shit.
It's happening right now. Shit.
Motherfucker.
Oh,
God damn.
All right.
In that little office.
Is it possible ancient civilizations were more advanced than we are today?
100%.
And is the truth buried? The truth is buried?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. What's the Tartarian?
Oh.
So you got the Tartarians or whatever, stuff's founded, buildings are founded because you think they are what they're not. You think there might have been temples or churches and stuff like that. They might have been harvesting energy. So yeah, I do believe that back then, maybe people were more in sync. Maybe people, understood each other back then. But now it's a little discombobulated. So yeah, I agree.
Okay. Possible ancient civilizations are more advanced than we are today.
Yeah, I strongly agree with that. And it's I believe what we are experiencing today is like a control of power, which is probably hurting more than preserving, because we would definitely be far more advanced than where we are.
Yeah.
As a as humans and everything like that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I agree.
Probably the reason why, we're seeing, spaceships and stuff like that into our space, and they're like, the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
They're like,
Let's get the hell out of here.
They're like, man, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
What happened to Earth?
Real talk.
Like, where did they fall off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I agree. I think I'm gonna stay on your page there. The city of Atlantis.
Oh yeah.
Where's
it at?
Even the Sumerians.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how advanced the
I'm not-
Sumerians are, but they say that our first recorded language is the Sumerians. And then I think I've always been impressed with a calendar that they always show, like it's a calendar, and it shows all 9 planets.
Oh.
And so I want to know how in the hell way back then did you even know the solar system?
Yeah, and they also say there's 13 months, not 12.
There is. Yeah, there is. Yeah. All right, I'll pass the baton, Big T.
Absolutely, I agree. Think of the ancient Kemet.
Oh,
think
yeah.
of
Kemet Nuke?
you know what I'm saying. You think about Kemet Hotep. You think about everything that we think is Egyptian, and even the word Egyptian isn't the word that's from Egypt. If I think that's a Greek word for pancake.
Damn.
So it's
That's
like
Jerry.
they really have done a number on Kemet. They basically defaced a lot of the Sphinx. They've taken off the noses. They've instead of it, we see it as a cross, right? But before it was a cross, it's called an ankh.
So what you're saying is what we think the Sphinx, the pyramids, we think Egypt, you're saying it's Kemet?
Yeah, it's Kemet. That's ancient Kemet. The ancient land of Kemet is, and they mastered mathematics.
His story.
His story. Ashwa Crazy. I'll get the name.
I think
Ashwa Crazy is like a
Crazy.
I think
Crazy man. This dude knows everything about Kemet and ancient Kemet, and he'll walk you.
I know you're talking
step
about.
by
I see him
step.
on YouTube.
On YouTube,
Yeah.
he has a bunch of videos, but it's going to get you a lot of information on the ancient land of Kemet and how. I mean, even the things that we see here in the Bible, they've stolen a lot of these words and have just translated them into certain the I don't know. I don't want to steal his thunder, but yeah, go to YouTube and
Fact checkers. Let us know. Let us know.
Community check.
Yes.
Ashwa Kwesi. If you don't believe me, YouTube Ashwa Kwesi.
Big Al, are UFO sightings real encounters or high-tech military experiments?
Both. I strongly believe both. And I believe that our higher powers, being like, government entities or whatever, I believe that they realize that they put themselves behind the curve by, holding back so much from the population, which, probably, is the original plan probably was to, preserve and not scare people. Who knows? Right? Or to try to retain power, right? And not lose power by other intelligent people, because there's so many super intelligent people, which bleeds into the school systems and all that stuff. All right, which is something else. But yeah, I believe that there are some real encounters out there, and I believe that there are some, government experiment trying to figure it out. But as far as for the technologies, they've held so many people back that probably could have got us to that technology by now. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
So
I think I agree with you. So I'm going to say both as well. I'm going to say that using the Roswell crash. So the Roswell crash, they recovered supposedly, space aliens and aircraft. And they say that they reverse engineered that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they were able to, that's how we actually are able to then have our military tech go out there and replicate it and do that crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take it one step further and then I'll pass the baton. I came across a video that showed how they want to use holograms, so we're talking tricking the public, right? Whether the UFO sightings are real or the military is doing it to trick the public. I want to just take a step further. Take a look at this. Maybe take some of the key words that I'm saying and look it up, because I don't know exactly the name of this video. But when the Cuban Missile Crisis was going on, the United States was prepared to send a hologram over Havana that was Jesus, and it was going to mimic his second coming to get the world under a certain level of control. They discovered that plan and then, of course, foiled it. But that's all that conspiracy stuff. But you know what? How long does it take for a conspiracy to come true, man? 6 months.
Damn.
6 months.
6 months.
that's
Jeez.
hilarious.
Man. What's the question again?
UFO sightings real
This drink is so good.
or high-tech military experience?
No, it's real. It's definitely real. It's definitely real. I think they're real encounters. And it's keeping a lot of militaries on their toes right now. Because of the powers are about to shift. This earth belongs to probably other beings. There's other things that we can't see. So no, it's not a military thing. You look at the bottom of the sea. We can see things in the sky, but we can't see things in the ocean. You just said that earlier, right?
Correct.
So they can't control all of the things that have probably fallen from different parts of all different worlds to be here. We are beings, and there's a lot of other beings in this world.
Yeah.
So
Wait, that's something interesting that you just said.
Yes, that was huge. That was
Because
huge.
just
You
think
said
about
something really interesting.
you said the 5 C's, right?
What's
So
that?
we talked about the
He's
5
talking
C's
about
earlier.
That the C's are only 5%, like
Yeah,
out. Like
Yeah.
95% of our C's are
it's
uncharted.
unknown.
Yeah,
So
bro.
just
'Cause
think about
if you're in a
that.
submarine, you can't see. You travel through.
Don't you think they know that? So if those beings, they're out there, they're like, oh shit, they're not gonna get in the water. Oh shit, we're waterproof. They out there.
SpongeBob.
Yeah. And then when they take off out of the ocean, they like, so they got plenty of places that they can hide. What makes you think that they can fly things out in space, but they can't go in our water?
Oh yeah, USOs, all that.
Our water is probably like soft, easy.
Yeah, I can't
They
wait.
probably have kingdoms down there.
They do.
We have military operations that are on the seas right now that like there's a vessel out there. They don't have to fill up. They have to fill up every 20 years. So they have to be there. Those vessels are out there, so they have to protect.
Have you heard that crazy experiment that people are doing? Obviously the billionaires and trillionaires that be, they build a bubble city underneath the ocean.
Yes.
And then they harvest babies down there. And they pretty much, these kids have now grown and they're fully populated underwater cities that have never seen the light of day.
Yes.
I don't know if that's true.
Are we passing the baton?
Baton.
I couldn't wait for this.
Your move, bro. Are UFO sightings real encounters or high-tech military experiments?
1000%, man. We're not the only beings on this planet, and God created it all. I don't know how to get into all that, but I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. Look up Phil Schneider. He was a geologist engineer. His goal was to implode and blow up underground bases. He actually unalived an alien. Look up Valiant 4. That's an actual alien that works for our government. Why can't we go past Antarctica? Why are we not allowed to go past Antarctica?
What do you mean?
Is there other land out there?
Why can't we?
Admiral Byrd did. We can't. You know why we can't? Because I believe that there's other land out there that'll help us live longer. I think that there's other lands
Wait
out
a
there.
minute. What do you mean we can't?
We're not allowed to, bro. You'll die. You can't go to Antarctica. You can go to Antarctica for a tour, but you can't go beyond the point that they tell you can't go on.
Now, did you know Antarctica has the largest pyramid in the world?
I didn't know that.
I knew it had one. I don't know it's the largest.
It's the largest.
Yeah, but
Well,
look up Phil
there we
Schneider.
go.
How do you know that?
I'm a black man, educated.
And I'm done with the baton.
I'm a
Your
black
homework,
man
ladies
and I'm
and gentlemen.
educated.
Who's up?
You're up.
I'm up. Do you think solving certain mysteries could actually destabilize society, and that's why they're hidden? Yes. Absolutely, I think yes. And I actually have a problem.
Destabilize.
Yeah, like basically you got society just running smooth right now, and if all of a sudden they found out the UFOs are real, would all of a sudden it not run so smooth? We have chaos. And I think that the government proactively does things like that. It's just like parents doing to kids, oh, don't let them know that the dog died today. You know?
Yeah.
Oh no.
You know,
That was me. I was the kid. Your dog is dead.
Yeah.
My brother wanted to beat my ass. My mom said, don't tell him that the dog died. The first thing he did, he came back from church. I was like, she was like, don't say nothing to him. I was like, I couldn't wait. I was like 7, 8 years old.
Nigga,
He
your
got in
dog
the car. He was
died.
like, your dog is dead. Your dog is dead. He was like, what do you mean? He hung himself.
oh shit.
You want
I
to
was
see his
serious, man.
reaction?
Yeah, was he like, what does he mean, Mom? He's fucking lying to me.
I can't. Oh man.
He's awesome.
Oh my God.
So I'm gonna say yes. Here's another one. I mean, 9/11. I think if some of these classified, JFK, the MLK, if we found out that the 3-letter agencies did this, it would destabilize our society. So yes, and I actually, I don't like that, but I understand it, but I don't like it.
But guess what? Trump's gonna release that paperwork.
I know.
Yeah. Well, you can even take it back, and I know you know more than this than me, because you have studied the Bible in and out. If we knew the truths of God, and people would lose their minds on what the wrath of God would be, how would this world be different? The consequences.
All the additional ancient manuscripts that we don't have access to.
Right. That's it.
Do you think solving certain mysteries would actually destabilize society?
Yeah, because all the fighting over this and that and this culture, land, yeah, it would. Because people aren't ready for the truth.
I love that. People aren't ready for the truth. People aren't.
Yeah. I would say so. I would say that it will destabilize. And I believe it would do something in addition to that too, though. It will make a lot more people come together
Mm-hmm.
and try to actually turn into being solution based, because it'll make people go, okay, well, you are just like me, right? Like the color doesn't matter, right? The car doesn't matter. We are all here together for some reason, so we need to all kind of come together to protect ourselves from whatever else. And then obviously they would lose trust in the
They would
government
be-
entities.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
I heard that there's things like there's a family, and then from family there's a clan,
Okay.
and then from a clan it turns into a tribe, then a tribe into an empire, right? And so it depends. Like a lot of times there's a lot of cultures that never even make it past family or clan, and it just depends on the texture of how long you've been here on Earth. There's a lot of melanated people have been here a long time. So we've formed clans, we've formed empires. Moors, the Moorish people have formed empires to conquer the world for years, right? And there's not too many people who have formed empires. So what you're saying is true. If we were to get together, we would start to formulate from family to clan to tribe to build the strength in numbers.
Correct.
Oh,
Which
you're
is the
right.
reason why.
Right.
Which is the reason why
Keep it
the breakdown of
The family.
tribes when the takeover of the United States happened, right? So from a lot of the native, people.
In fact, you're right. Nipsey Hussle said tribes, and he's a tribal member because he's a Richian.
Cherokee. I'm kidding.
That was really good.
Nah, here you go.
That was really good.
He's a
by the
Richian.
way.
He's a
You try to get a
Richian.
shot.
That was really
I'm telling
good.
you, you ain't getting no marathon.
I'm pretty sure I'm
burger.
butchering the name,
You
but I
ain't getting
think-
no marathon burger. You can't get one.
Yeah.
You ain't getting no
Y'all
marathon
dropping
burger for
burgers.
Ruben, okay?
Hilarious.
No burgers for Ruben.
Hilarious.
Oh, I ain't
Nah,
taking-
Yeah,
he's-
but I think
Yeah, he's
I think that's all part of it, though, right?
Yeah.
Is that there were tribes that were here
yes.
already.
and they broke them tribes down because to conquer them, they had to say, you know what? We're the lesser. There's not as many of us. We need to go out there and attack those tribes. We got our little muskets and guns, but we need to go out there and break these
Yeah.
tribes, these empires that they have here in the
Separate
U.S. or
conquer.
whatever land they wanted to conquer.
And it was Columbus that broke those tribes down, right?
Right.
He was one of them.
And they had different firepower than, we had little spears. And oh, yeah, I got shot. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
This is that
little
new
poison-
technology.
little poison on a spear.
Yeah, he was like, what the fuck? I got shot. Like, oh, you look, this shit is over. When you feel the hot bullet, you're like, oh, this is over.
It's going through my body. What is this?
With a spear, they be like, oh shit, nothing. They pull a spear out, but they, bullets.
From as far back as it goes, man. You got every civilization that has an empire that rises, and then the next one comes and that one falls.
That is how you get a mixed baby.
Yeah, man, I was pissed
All
off.
right, man. Here we go. Last topic. All right.
Last topic.
Big T.
You ready?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, money, hustle, and success stories. Is the hustle culture empowering, or is it glorified burnout?
I think it's empowering. It's becoming more empowering, and it's because of shows like this, because of studios like this, Flash Media Studios, and being able to empower us to do what we do on this show, to be able to connect to you, the public, and give you real raw information and news and topics and funny shit all day long. It's empowering if you use it properly and you don't abuse it. There's a good book that I recommend everyone read. It's called The 48 Laws of Power. Don't abuse it.
I'm reading that right now.
And when you're able to, hone in and harvest the powers that be and bring good community together, then, we find success. But if you abuse it, like there's people out there right now using, TikToks and Instagrams to just show ass or, do other things and doing it to abuse, and then also poison our children's minds and, all that other stuff that we don't need as fathers, as happy dads in the room here. We don't need to be doing that, right?
Yeah, I like
happy
that.
dads,
I like that.
happy
Yeah.
dads don't need to be
Happy
doing
dads.
I like
We don't
that.
need to
got
be
gin
doing
and
that
juice.
shit.
I like
Over here,
that.
happy
I
dad.
like that. I'm a happy dad. I like
Yeah,
that.
right. And we don't need our kids being corrupted by that shit. So
Yeah.
I would say if it's done the right way, and put into a certain synergy, which we have created here in this room, man, it's powerful.
Empowering.
It's empowering.
Sir, hustle culture empowering or glorified burnout?
Hustle for sure. Everybody wants to see the pursuit of happiness. Everybody wants to be protected. Everybody wants to live the American dream, whether it's buying a house or renting a really nice home. So, yeah, people want to see you put in the work and see the fruits from your labor.
I would say that you need to get small wins along the way. Otherwise, you can get burnt out. I read something. I read something a long time ago. There's no there or whatever. And I learned this because I've been in sales for a long time, and I learned this very young because I made a lot of money right out the gate, and I remember like my third check, I was scared driving to the bank, right? And it was like $7,200 or whatever, but It was like my third check. I'm like 21 or 20 years old.
You were like, what the hell?
Or something like this, right? But I was reading like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or Four Quadrants or something. I was reading one of the Robert Kiyosaki books, right? And I'm a bad reader, but you know, I've been told by successful people that you need to read and all this stuff. So I started trying to do it early. And there's a statement in there that there's no there. And I didn't understand that until I started making some money. And everyone goes, oh, as soon as I get to this, or as soon as I get this vehicle, or make this amount of money, or have my own place, or these things, that it's like if you made it, right? But when you get there, there's no there. Like you're still not. You know what I mean? Like it's still not as satisfying as you thought it was going to be.
Because you want more.
Yeah, it's like a place that you're taking yourself that really is not there.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the hustle culture, when someone achieves some level of like greatness and some level of success, the only thing that you really have to look back on is what that journey was really like. So what was the hustle really like? What was some of the hard times that you went through? Because you can look back on them and you can kind of appreciate that you actually stuck it out.
So like Gary V says, the process.
The process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shout out Gary V.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the prizes in the process.
All right.
That's well said.
Hustle culture empowering, or is it glorified burnout? You know, I'm going to go ahead and go with the generation. I think we are the age of where the hustle culture is empowering. We are empowered by it because we know that what it takes. I'm going to use the word work ethic.
Yeah, I agree.
We have a more grinding work ethic that translates into the word hustle. Whereas people that don't understand that, a generation that doesn't understand hustle culture will say that's burned out. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know if that works. You know, and it's because they're not necessarily, they don't probably have the level of work ethic or the committed work ethic that our culture has, or people that believe in it have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that. All right. You're up. Or you got the hustle culture empowering. You did?
I had the first question.
Does hard work actually lead to success, or is wealth really about who you know?
I'm gonna say both. Can I say both?
Yeah.
Hard work in the right environment will bring you money, but hard work in the wrong area will not. Like, for instance, if I'm working at Amazon in the hub, you're not gonna make life-changing money. You gonna make
You
work as hard as all
your
dogs.
your money got pressure when the gas prices change. Your motherfucking attitude changed.
Hey, you can pack up 1,000 boxes. You still getting paid $25 an hour.
Yeah, that gas price go up. You like, oh man.
So now wealth. Yes, if you're connected to wealth, you're good because you got the backing. If that idea doesn't work for whatever reason, you move on to the next. You move on to the next until you find something that'll really ignite your business. So yeah, I will say if you are connected to wealth, like Donald Trump, you'll get the fruits from that labor. But like if you're someone like, I don't know, I can't give you an example. You just have to be in the right environment to win. And if you're not in the right environment, you won't win.
Okay.
Passing the baton.
Okay. I'll ask the question again. So, does hard work actually lead to success, or is wealth really about who you know?
Hard work can lead to success.
Oh, I thought you passed the baton.
Oh,
Yeah, he was asking me.
Well, how many gin and juices has he had? How many of these?
I didn't know he was asking that. I didn't know
I
thought
there's a bunch of empty cans. There's a bunch of empty cans. Hilarious.
My bad. I didn't know he was asking that.
No. So it definitely is who you know, but you do need to show that you are grimy. You do need to show that you have done some level of a body of work for people who are wealthy to have, I guess, a level of appreciation for you and to have some type of comfort and trust, because they have to see like, okay, this person does know what they're doing, or they do have a strong work ethic, right? Because they're not just going to give anybody money, right? So it is a combination of both of them, but you do need to put in some, you do need to put in some work first.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. I'm gonna go with both of you guys. I'm gonna go with the fact that it's both. So how I'll interpret that will be, hard work does lead to success. But yes, it's almost like the concept of working smarter, not harder.
Right.
And then of course, I think they say, the question is, is wealth really about who you know? I think that part plays a role in breakthrough. So your hard work can take you so far, but who you know helps you break through.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah.
And so,
oh yeah.
baton.
I agree with all three of you gentlemen, because it does take that. That hard work is going to create the discipline that you're going to need in order for someone that's more successful than you in certain ways to say, you know what, like you said, I have trust and faith in this guy. Let's help him out. Let's give him a hand up in life, and that's happened to me a couple times. And there's been times where I've been down, and I've had hands up where they've seen the hard work and dedication that you put to it, and they want to help you guys out. So I mean, it works that way.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola, the business with Coca-Cola, when we first started in the office, we were looking for an office, and we were like, you know what, one of my brothers were able to get us gave us a breakthrough. It was gave us a shot at least for a couple years. So that was pretty cool.
Alvin, you're up, right?
Yeah.
Is college still worth it, or is higher education a financial scam?
Scam.
Ooh, can you elaborate?
Yeah.
You passing the baton.
Yeah, it's one of those things where there are some schools, there's some organizations where the professors and the ones that are teaching the students and things of that nature are retired, or maybe they operated in that field, so they have some relationships, right? So there's some good there. But it has to be like super focused, right? It has to be hyper focused on like something specific. Anything general is a complete waste of time, personally, I think. And if someone's going for those relationships that they're going to acquire in the school system, okay, cool, right? But that's only for like super minimal time. Now, if someone's going to be a doctor, then yes, you do need to go, and you need to go through, a number of different things and learning certain different things. And there's even kind of a shorter learning curve than that as well, because I think someone would be better off finding like 5 specialty practice doctors that they want to operate in that field, and shadow them,
Work underneath them,
well,
or apprentice.
Correct. Like, so I think that they will get much better experience that way. Their time to goal would shorten dramatically, instead of like 8 years, 10 years of school to be a doctor, right? So yeah, I think like the school system needs to be completely revamped.
Good word. I'm gonna change the word scam to tool. I think that college is not worth it. I think that higher education is a tool. I think that that's how I'm actually speaking from experience. I've always been somebody that pissed off the counselor because I didn't follow any of the counselor's recommendations or plan. I took classes that I was interested in, and it was because I was interested in that, and I learned it. And so I actually appreciate the leveling up it gave me in that particular subject matter. So, it's just, I'm not gonna. Maybe I could say scam in the sense of somebody going after a general ed, or going after a liberal arts, major, or somebody going and wanting to do and be like study plants or something. It's like, I've always had an argument with individuals that are like anti-capitalists. They think that people who make exuberant amount of money, it's like it's unethical for them to make that much money and so forth. But usually people who choose a career, and I've always even told my kids this, make sure you choose a career that pays well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of teachers, and this is not a shot at teachers because, but the teachers nowadays can be way better. They can they can up their game and actually be more, better at their craft. So what teachers usually say is that they're underpaid, but they knew what their pay range was when they went to college.
Yeah, they signed up for it.
Don't teach in California.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
don't teach in California.
That's my take on it. So Todd, is college still worth it, or is higher education a financial scam?
Well, I think it is a financial scam to me. College is a financial scam. I think, like you said, you should be able to go to college and choose your path, and not have someone try to dictate what you want to do, because you were able to have your mind still stay active in the things that you wanted to do, right? So that you wanted to take college at your own pace, and you completed it, which is great. A lot of times kids get out of high school, you took 12 years of high school, 12 years of school. By the time you get out of high school, you're burnt out. First semester, second semester, you're gone. So at least if it's a scam financially, for sure, we shouldn't be paying for college here in the United States. We make way too much money. There's way too much frivolous spending throughout our governments. Okay.
USAID.
Yeah, exactly. It said there's too much frivolous spending out there that needed to be cut back. And we can pour that money back into our own children's education and getting them what they want. So I have sons that are special in whatever they want to do, but they didn't necessarily have to graduate with a BA in science or something like that. I have one that's really good in art. He wants to draw. He wants to be an animation cartoonist, and he wants to do something different. So I would love for him just to go to school for that, if that's what he wanted to do. I don't want him to take, all these
liberal arts.
Yeah. For what?
Calculus.
Calculus. Yeah. For what?
Economic-y.
He's not
Geography.
He's not doing that. What is he doing? Oceanography. Like, for what? That's just fluff time. We don't.
We need you to know where Greenland is. Nah,
yeah. Yeah. I was gonna go back to that too, man. I was gonna go back to some more conspiracy shit, but go ahead, man.
Mr. Paul, is college still worth it?
No. It is if you're gonna be a doctor or a lawyer, something in the high end industry. So we all know that if you go to college, you're gonna be in a lifetime worth of debt, depending on what you're gonna master or major in. So just know yourself, really, what it boils down to. Know what you're willing to put your life through, your lifestyle. If you're gonna love this job, go do it. If you want to be an accountant, go be an accountant. But just know you don't need to go to a 4-year to be in debt to be an accountant. So,
I'm gonna add to your financial scam part, the financial scam, like that combination of words right there. It almost seems as if all the employers are in on it. Like, in other words, oh no, we're gonna in order to have this position, you need a master's. In order to have this position, you need to have your doctorate.
oh yeah.
When they get there, all they doing is fucking eating Taco Bell every day. Eating bullshit.
Getting paid $5 extra.
Oh, they
You
said.
got that
I didn't say
master's.
Taco Bell was bullshit. Did I say that?
The beans definitely aren't beans.
Yeah, I'm
from what I
sorry.
see.
I mean,
We might
none of
not
the
get
foods
that
were
one.
at McDonald's or Taco Bell. So, I
this
mean,
is
hey.
crazy. Yeah, I
Bon
wouldn't.
appetit.
No, but to piggyback on what you're saying right there, right? So, I had a pretty significant, body of work in sales, management, and stuff like that. I got my degree, right? So I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna give me a bump, right? So this is gonna elevate me.
Mm.
I still wasn't able to find a job, even after I had like 15 years in management.
You were overqualified?
Yeah, I was overqualified. I was overqualified for majority of the stuff, and then now I have this degree, and it's like, oh well, you don't have experience in this space specifically.
Wow.
Oh, so they say, oh, you kind of fall in between, like, we
You
just
got it.
know, you were not
Got it,
hiring.
but you don't really got it.
You're like,
Yeah,
you know what?
Like it made no sense at all. It made no sense. So so that's
crazy.
$50,000+.
Wow.
Andre.
Right.
All that educational money, right?
Educational money.
Right.
Yep.
And you couldn't
50
keep
plus
one book.
Hi, government. We should get paid for going to school.
Hey, who's on vibrate right now?
Is financial freedom possible for everyone, or is it just sold as a dream to keep people grinding?
It's a soul as a dream to keep people grinding. It's not for everybody.
It's not.
Nope. You can't be no weak. You can't be no weak, soft, tenderized person and want to have success. Even ladies out there are fearless. The ladies out there that are conquering their dreams and going after what they desire, they're really going after it. They're not laying back on the couch just trying to collect. They're really out there pushing themselves, and gentlemen as well too. Like, if you really want to be successful, you got to push and grind. If that's the case,
Passing the baton.
bounce pass.
And I'll read it again. So, financial freedom possible for everyone, or it's just sold as a dream to keep people grinding?
It's not possible for everyone because financial literacy is an actual effort that you got to put into to read books and understand the flow of money. There's only 4 ways to make money. 4 ways. It's employee, self-employed, business owner, and if you buy a business, which makes you an investor. And if you're not one of the 4 of those, well, actually you need to be 2, business owner, investor. If you're not those 2, you're not going to have access to certain things in life. And that's just what it is. And I was taught by my mentor. So it's not for everybody.
So you can grow up to be anything you want is a lie?
I wouldn't say it's a lie.
Yeah, that's not a lie. Oh, brutal.
I wouldn't say it's a lie. Here's why I wouldn't say it's a lie. Because you can do it, but you might not be in the right space.
I was like,
You can't be anything you want though.
I would say, no, like save the children. Like, no, say,
You can't be anything you want.
Save the children right now.
Put the earmuffs on the kids.
Yeah.
Hey, I hope you're eavesdropping.
Yeah.
We're telling the truth.
Yeah, Nas got a song. I know I can't be what I want to be.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Hey, some parent just smacked their kid and said, "See,
Yeah.
You can't
trying to kill a dream right now.
You can't be
I was
anything you want to be.
no. Maybe I was gonna see this right now.
oh man, all right, Al. Financial freedom.
I got
possible for
forced to
everyone?
pass that baton.
Or is it just a dream to keep people grinding?
Yeah, man, it's not for everybody. It really isn't. It really isn't. There's some people that are what's the right word? Like, they're okay. There's another word for it, but they are okay with
Complacent?
yeah,
Mm.
complacent.
Comfortable?
Yeah, definitely complacent is the one that you can kick them right in the forehead with.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So but they are okay with being complacent.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, because they don't see
They
an
don't know.
end. They can't think with the end in mind. They're just living day to day, like, oh, I'm waking up. I see people out there when they go to work. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
It's because they don't have
Or they don't believe.
It's like, bro, I mean, are you
They
even
don't
mentally
believe.
awake?
They don't believe, and they can't see more.
They don't know what they don't know.
Right.
Mm.
Right? Like, so it's almost like that. Like they see people doing more, but they can't see themselves
Because they're not inspired.
doing more.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not for everyone. Now, everyone could get to some level of financial freedom. They can get to some level.
I mean, they can get there. They have to plug themselves in. They do have to apply themselves. It's not going to walk up, I'm sure.
Yeah, but keep it in mind, right? Because even people that are on the lower totem pole are receiving free monies without even.
Oh,
doing
you talking about they getting it at the bottom too?
You saying EBT?
Ebbet?
EBIT.
Ebbet? Swipe. Said. But but that's
you know what?
Like
Like
get a
the
certain
system,
amount, though.
the system. The system with like Section 8 and some
I'm
other
not knocking none of that.
vehicles.
I'm not knocking none of that.
There's some other vehicles that people are using for housing, for food, for like all these different things or whatever, and they've kind of like hustled the system,
gaming the system.
Those are not tools for somebody just to like live on.
Right.
Those are supposed to be to like fill the gaps of
Correct.
a downtime.
True.
Get better.
Right.
You know, get you.
Exactly.
You know, it's a humility thing. You don't want to abuse the system because then what am I teaching my kids? Like, hey, y'all go to the mail. Go to the mailbox real quick. Yeah, that's not a hustle.
You're hustling backwards.
Yeah, exactly. You hustling always laying down.
Popping.
Yeah.
Getting real money and hard work and ethics is real.
Yeah.
No, but credit to Paul though, for sure. Like, so it takes financial literacy on what to do with your money, how to utilize your money, and get to the understanding of how to make money actually work for you.
Yeah.
And you know, it becomes someone's daily thing on how to just operate.
Yeah.
Just in general.
No, yeah. Write a plan.
You know what I mean?
And follow it every day.
So yeah.
What about you, Roop?
Financial freedom possible for everyone. You know what? I'll play on the word. Is it possible? Yeah, everything's possible. But is it for everyone? No.
I agree with that.
I'm gonna say no. And I think that they do a great job of selling the dream, you know, because it's in the American motto. You can come here and make your dreams come true, and guess what? Usually what's the story that's usually told about immigrants, that somebody who comes from having nothing or comes from a country where they didn't have anything, they come here and have tremendous success, more than a citizen would.
Their grit's a little bit harder. That's
grit's
why.
a little harder.
You know why? Is because they really have a dream.
Yeah, they do.
You know, we're so spoon-fed and spoiled here in the U.S. We have everything given to us. Like we talked about these programs.
Mm-hmm.
When someone comes over from another country, you can instantly see their hustle. You can see their feet hitting the ground. They want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, they want to get in here. They want to get a job. You don't see that. They don't want to go on vacation right when they get here.
Nah.
They know they got some stuff to take care of back at home.
Yeah.
They made it here. You know, they didn't get caught.
I'm sending my email to HR that I didn't get my 15-minute break.
Yeah. Oh, he talked to me on my break. They should have started over, right? Get your ass to work.
Hey,
they got somebody, they got.
But let's keep it a Franklin. Not everybody's going to live the American dream.
No,
that's right.
Correct. Yeah, correct. So the thing, just to kind of top off what you're saying right there, when people come from different situations, their urgency factor,
that's another one,
is yesterday.
Hyper-focused.
That's good.
It's yesterday. It's not like,
there is no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow.
Yeah, facts.
Does money really change you, or does it just reveal who you really are?
Money reveals who you are. When you got money, either your wardrobe's going to get better, your cars are going to get better, you're going to buy that house. I mean, it could change you, but it's going to reveal who you really are. It's going to highlight if you're a good person or if you're a bad person. Are you going to break a bag with the homies and elevate them? Or are you just going to keep it for yourself and do your own thing and not tell anybody? And I'm passing the baton.
I would say that it definitely reveals who you are. If people see you change, it's just you changing into who you
I agree with that.
That was good.
I agree with that.
have been striving to be.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I strongly believe in that. And you know, for those that see that through the negative lens, you know, those are the people that you've kind of shined a light on as well. To, you know, watch out for them.
Yeah, they
You know
weren't
what I
ready.
mean?
They weren't ready to grow.
That
with
right
you.
there,
Yeah.
that was a great answer right there.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a great answer right there.
I'm gonna go ahead and take a page out of my mentor's book. Shout out to Randy. My mentor said, if you're an asshole with no money, you'll be a bigger asshole with money.
Damn.
So it reveals who you are.
Yeah.
And I love what you said about that you can get the illusion of change, but I don't think it's change. I think it's just these means have allowed you to just now, you know, settle into who you are.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I strongly believe that.
Yeah, I believe.
Does money really change you, or does it just reveal who you really are?
It reveals who you really are. You know, because when you broke, you know, the ones that when you shine, when it's really dark in the room and you're broke, and you're like, damn, who's here to support me? You turn the light on. Those two people that are still in your corner, like you've been in my corner for all my life, whether I've had money or I haven't had money. Same as you, Alvin. You know, and I'm getting to know you, Paul. Okay, so you guys have been in my life, whether I've had money, whether I was homeless, living in the office, living out the car. You guys have treated me the same. So when we do get a lot of money, I'm still gonna be humble, with humility, and we're gonna eat and still do the same things. Now, I'm not gonna sit there and ball out and go yachting and shit like that. But see ya. But we're gonna be podcasting and giving you the real shit every week, and it's gonna invest back into us. You know, so that's the thing. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna just make me a more humble person. I think this just makes people
reinvestment.
Yeah. I'm gonna pass the baton.
Oh man, there's no more baton when the race is over.
Race is over.
Hey,
shout out to Gin and Juice.
Ooh.
Shout out to Flash Media Studios. Shout out to Alvin.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to Alvin for being on time today. This man right here, he set the shit up. Okay, so we appreciate him. So thank you.
Shout out to Flash Media Studios. Alvin, thank you for being on the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
and shout out to Eavesdrop Podcast. It's always great to have you guys in the studio. It's always good energy.
With that, thank you guys for joining the show. Love you guys. Peace out.
Peace.
Eavesdrop.